Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is July 1st, so happy July everybody. Did everybody have a good week? Good, that's really good to hear. I'm drinking out of a new Pennsylvania mug that I got from the always delightful Julicious. And she sent me some coffee, but I was lazy this morning, so I just used a bottle of cold brew. We did do the trip yesterday. We left at 5 o'clock in the morning and we got home about 10:30, 10:45-ish, I think. So I was just, and I had to get up and go grocery shopping and do laundry, so I was being lazy with my coffee this morning. So did everyone have a good week? Anybody got any fun 4th of July plans for America? Well, good. We will probably watch 1776. That's kind of my tradition, so. All right, so we've got a scooch of haul this week to show. There will be more haul next week for sure. I've got a finish. I've got some whip updates. And yeah, I think that's kind of about it for the day. So it'll be a fairly short question. Or a short video, not short question. So, sliding right on into the good old Q&A. Irish Stitcher asks, how do you manage to publish a video every week? It must be hard to force yourself, or is it a case that you look forward to it? What about weeks when you just didn't feel like it? Since the videos are pretty short, and I know a lot of people like sit down and they'll plan out everything they're gonna do. Mine's pretty loosey-goosey. When I get finished with a whip for each week, I have a basket that I bring it in to the library, and this is the current basket I'm using. I've got a couple different ones, but I've got this one. I throw any haul, I throw anything that's going to be in the video into that basket. Before the video, I sort it out between haul, whips, or finishes if there's a finish. And then that's it. So there's very little pre-planning that goes into it. I enjoy doing them. They're short. If they were longer videos, I probably would be less inclined, but I like doing these little short videos. So really, the weeks, and I build in my breaks on videos, you know, and I figure if I miss a week for whatever reason, if something's going on, then I miss a week. I'm not being paid to do this. I do this because I enjoy it. So if I miss a week, well, then I miss a week, but I generally try not to miss a week. So and the motivation part of it is it helps me sort of get excited about what I'm doing. So I use that for a little bit of motivation too. So hopefully that answers your question. Amber Pilkington asks, what is the best place to destash? I really don't know. I destashed once through Stash Unload, and while it worked, they have a lot of rules, which that is fine. They are the admins. They can set their own rules. There's more rules than I wanted to deal with, so what I do now is I basically just save it all up until I'm going somewhere, and I'm like, hey, who wants some of this stuff? Christy Donay asks, would I mind telling y'all about the black and white photo behind me above Carol Channing? That is, and if it's one of those that the way it hangs is ridiculously complex, so I'm not going to try and take it down to show you. But I can at least sort of do this. Boop. I apologize for the motion sickness. That's an autograph from Margaret Pellegrini. She was one of the Munchkins in The Wizard of Oz. She was a Flower Pot Munchkin and a Sleepy Time Munchkin. So one of the ones that when they sing Wake Up You Sleepyheads, the ones that come out of the eggs, she's one of those. And yeah, so that's my autograph. I did not actually meet her. A friend of mine did and got the autograph for me. So I unfortunately never got to meet any of the Munchkins myself. And I think that was it for the Q&A. So, that's it for the Q&A. So for my haul this week, I got 3 charts from The Attic, that McKenna is organizing. I got this one from Black Swan Designs called Pansy, because I liked her dress. And I thought it was actually neat. There's not really a good way to show this, so I'm trying not to show you the chart. But it actually includes a color conversion if you wanted to do her, instead of her being white, doing her in black. Have her be African American, which I thought was cool. I got this cross-eyed cricket, Promise of Spring, and it was a mitten and an acorn, because I kind of like those mittens and those acorns. And then the main reason I did the order was for this Prairie Moon that I didn't know existed, that says, Dorothy is my daughter. It's the Wicked Witch of the West at a fortune teller. And it's very definitely, and I'm looking to see, do I have it in arm's reach? I don't, but I will talk loudly. And it's very definitely inspired by Charles Santor's Wicked Witch, which I will show you. That's probably easier to access. And when you see this, you're going to know exactly what I mean. It's very definitely the Charles Santor Wicked Witch of the West. This is from the Coles Cares edition of this book, although there are multiple different ones. Yeah, there we go. So, definitely inspired by her. Which is fine, because I really love the Charles Santor editions. Minus, I'm not wild, and this makes... There's always one character that I feel like the illustrators miss, and I'm not a fan of his Glinda. There's the Glinda. And I get she's supposed to be based on a famous painting that I'm blanking on, but it's her face. I don't quite like her face. Anyhow, so that was this week's tiny bit of haul. Alright, so this week I did have a finish. I picked up, I think, Longfellow and just was like, I don't really feel like working on Longfellow. So instead I worked on and finished Mary's Sampler by Plum Street. So there it is. There's actually more to this chart, but I've decided that I'm going to finish it, and you probably saw it on Instagram and whatnot, and there's not going to be a really easy way of showing this. So I apologize now. But I'm going to finish it with the frame to make it look like it's the Nativity, or like a stable. So like this. So the straws were kind of my guideline of where I needed it to be too. So there we go. That's kind of what it's going to look like. So that was why I cut out what I did. But it was mostly just extra stars, a crown, and a cross. And since I don't necessarily enjoy putting... I don't necessarily mind a crown, but the Nativity, for me, I feel like the cross doesn't need to be in the Nativity, because that comes, obviously, at the end of the story, if you will, and it always seems a little morbid to be like, oh, well, we've already got our eye on the cross when he's just been born. So, to me, that's always sort of a morbid concept, so I tend to not like crosses being in with the Nativity. So, there we go. Ta-doo. So, and I did this on Crystal Storm by Picture This Plus. I think I may have said that already, but if I didn't, there you go. That's what I did it on. So, I finished that. I did work on Peter Rabbit some more, and I got 2 more books done. And then I went back, I finished up the inside part of Cinderella from the Clouds Factory Epic Storybook Princess, and I'm working on the border now, so I'll finish the border, and then the next one I start is going to be, Sleeping Beauty, that's her name. I may go back, there are some stars here that in darker lighting you can see, but they're not showing up too well on the fabric, and they're not really showing up too well in this lighting. I used pearl, so I think I will probably go back and restitch those maybe in the same blue that I used for Bippity Boppity Boo. Or, excuse me, the stars around Bippity Boppity Boo. And I used one of the purple Krennics, the one that's the super highly the holographic. So there this is. And this is on Fairy Whispers by Die Stitch Love. So I'm going to finish up the border, hopefully today. There's really not a lot left of the border. I've just got that, those two parts there. And then I'll do, yeah, so, because the blue one only took 30 minutes or so. So once I get that in place, then I can go on to Sleeping Beauty. Although I may not necessarily do that just yet. So anyhow, that's kind of it for me today. I've got to do some cleaning in here before I start stitching. Yeah, so I will talk to you all later. Have a great week, everyone.